So first, I have to tell you guys a couple of things. What was I going to tell you first? So last night after we did the Eau Claire, how many folks were at the Eau Claire one? Wasn't that awesome?
Yeah.
Awesome.
329 was our top count. That was the, we counted several times to make sure. And then the last night we were on the way home, me, Michael and Vinny were on the way home, decided to get something to eat on the way home. So we decided to go to Casa Mexicana. And we were just about to get out of the car and go in to eat. And Michael said, Cindy, I think you should take the ice off your shirt. He was like, oh.
Probably not.
Which is why I left the ice on my shirt. Go ahead, Larry.
I went into Clancy Bar, and the guy said, wait a while, I got my workers done yet.
Yes, right. That's it.
Yeah.
I was so impressed.
Yeah, and then a fella went by today, today was a little tougher outside. You guys saw that, it was a little tougher
The
outside.
vibe, definitely different.
Yeah, it's a totally different vibe.
Yeah.
I had very early, just as we were starting, one guy drove by and said, who are you gonna shoot today?
Wow.
And Sandy, who said, it? Was you, wasn't it? Yeah, said, why didn't you just say, I'm not really ice?
Oh.
There you go.
Wouldn't that have been perfect?
Yeah.
I'm like, that is brilliant. I didn't have that come back. And then for those of you that were not aware, at the end, there was somebody that went through and went around the circle twice and pretended to shoot at us.
Oh.
Yep, but someone got the license number, and so I called the police department, and they're gonna see if they can find him, and so you all gotta start, taking pictures and doing things. Rita sent a message like, maybe we should have walkie-talkies, like, we can't afford walkie-talkies, but great idea.
I stopped at Rice Lake about 3 times to help the door cut.
Yeah.
The guy keeps his camera on in his pocket.
Yeah, really.
Maybe report it to the store.
So they're really good. I mean, I always call the police before we have any event, both Eau Claire and Chippewa. I call dispatch and tell them what we're up to, and I told them to be in costume today. And so when I called them, I said, I assume it's just someone being human. But I figured we better tell you. And they said, oh yeah, thanks. Yeah, Bill.
But last night, I didn't hear it or see it, but someone told me that some woman was driving by, had the window down and yelled out, "You killed Kirk,"
Yeah.
to whoever was there.
Yeah. Today?
No, last night.
Yes. Yes.
Well, that's unusual for Eau Claire. Eau Claire's not usually as bad. Could I have 3 people share about their experience, something you want to say about yesterday? Anybody?
Oh, it's fun. The music helped.
Yeah, the music was great.
There was a good crowd. I just wish we had more Lake Street walking around. That was
Yeah.
effective.
Yeah, I'd like Lake
Oh, I
Street.
got 2 things up on.
That's okay, no, I just wanted that, I had 3 people to share, a thought about yesterday, so that we could just be complete with it. Anybody else got anything? Yes, go ahead.
Today?
Yesterday first. Yeah, Bill.
I just have to say, the costumes blew me away. They were so good. I commend you.
They were pretty amazing.
My costume was really elaborate. It was one of those vests.
I know.
But very important one.
I wanted to wear a gaiter and all that stuff, but it was too hot. I was dying as it was. Were you gonna say something, Kat? Okay. Anybody else?
Better. Cheers.
About today, I think it was a great event. The press coverage, WEAU's press coverage was disappointing. I'm sure you guys saw that. One of the things that's very hard is the media bias with Eau Claire. We are always fighting, kind of like when we did the event on Friday and they let Derek Van Orden say that piece on the bottom and let it sit there. Yeah, that's just, and someone made the comment, well, they have to give equal time. It's like, we're not partisan. We're not Democrats. We're not running for anything. It's like, we're not. And so, yeah, so there's no reason for them to have to do that, but they do. So they left the Van Orden thing, and then this most recent one, everything they put in it was not accurate. It was literally not accurate. They said we were having the rally as a response to Trump's tweet about Chicago. It was not. They said we had said there were more arrests in the area. Never. And they said that we had changed the lines of the movie for our chants. And then the thing about the river, so Eau Claire was very disappointing in that, but now QOW made up for it. I didn't see anything in either paper. Yeah, Mike?
Cindy, what I've done with equal time that is say back to them that the first thing is a news item. and then you're giving somebody else the opportunity to do an editorial comment on the news.
Oh, yeah, that's
These are not the same.
Good.
And the news director from WEAU emailed back to me and agreed with that. He said he's gonna watch that when it happens. Right, I'm still breathing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the, and so the challenge is they love us when we do something they like. Like hometown heroes, and we're not doing it, but when we're fighting for something, they don't like us as much. But QOW did us proud. And for those of you that don't know, I will tell you, we were standing there yesterday and they were getting ready to go live. They actually said, we have the feed, yeah, and they said, get Elliot in front of the camera. So Elliot was standing in front of the camera. They were all ready to take us live from downtown Eau Claire. And then they said, wait, the FBI is going to do a briefing on the shooting at 5. We have to cut away. So we have just the most interesting luck. So, you know, right before we're ready to cut and go live, we lost it. But, you know, we did a good job. So I feel
Your
good about it.
interview was on though, on
It was.
WQOW,
Yeah,
Not
we did.
national, national.
right?
Yeah.
Might they air that story?
Where?
On national level?
Well, we're communicating with Hubble, Craven, and Maddow, and ABC News is doing it as part of a larger story. It's called a long format story.
Oh, cool.
For those of you that, you know, they're working on a story about rural healthcare. And so they're using this as part of that story about how we're protesting, trying to, you know, so, they were supposed to come yesterday. I wonder why they got diverted. It's a puzzle, wasn't it? But they're coming back on the 23rd, and they're going to interview a local doctor. And they're interviewing 2 people who have been through some things, 3 people. And then they're doing that, like, for us, I think it only helps to have our story on a national level. It makes people sit up and pay attention. So they're doing a healthcare story, and as part of that, the protests that are happening. So I actually had to send them all media today. So I'm sending media. Okay. Anything else on that one? Anyway, all right, here we go.
You want to hear about the leader telegram?
What?
They were supposed to have 1, possibly 2 reporters there, according to Dana Watts, who spoke with Chris Vetter. And I don't know if they were there or not. There was nothing in today's paper, but I was told they send all the copy to the Twin Cities for printing like at 5 o'clock. So I'm assuming there may well be
Oh, we
something.
got blown out there
something
too.
more.
We just have the worst luck. You know, the week we were supposed to be on Maddow when there was that shooting in New York. And somebody's like, are we on Maddow? It's like, there's no way we're going to be on Maddow. There's a shooting in New York. There's no way, you know? And it's like, you know, apparently we can't have a good event because apparently that makes something bad happen. Yeah, no, apparently we're just such good in the universe. It has to swing the other way. I don't know. Well, who knows?
Okay, Donald.
Who knows? Anyway, so you guys know the mission, you know the vision. I don't have to do either of those, right? Next one. Thanks. Nonviolent civil resistance. I thought we should hit this again just because we need to, because of what's going on. I was on both of the indivisible national calls. Yesterday is the group leader call, so that's a small one with like a couple hundred of us. They do this so that we can just like say what our concerns are as leaders. And then today is the mass call where they have like 15,000. And yesterday, when I was on the call, Charlie and Kirk had just been shot, so we had no idea where it was. So there was a huge conversation about nonviolent resistance. If we don't stay nonviolent, it goes bad for us, which we know, right? We know.
Of course.
And even though we disagree with everything that Charlie Kirk said and stood for, we stand for his right to say that, and we, with every cell in our bodies, condemn this action, and we will not be violent, right? That is just, we are really committed to that, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
So I just want, and sometimes there are folks at the rallies who flip people off and get angry and say, you know, and I don't think like a quick comeback, like, you know, I'm not really ice is the same thing as like, you know, flipping someone off and getting in their face and stuff. So we try to always de-escalate and remember that. So, because the things that we need, the 5 keys to success, they went over this again today with us, which is we need growing numbers and momentum, which we actually are getting. I don't know if you guys know this. There are 10 new indivisible groups that form every week. Every week. I mean, there are over 2,600 right now. 10. Yeah, I know, and I helped with a group that just formed in Stevens Point, and they asked me on Saturday to come to the meeting and talk or give a pep talk, but it was only 15 minutes, so I did it by Zoom, okay? And so as I'm talking to them, I asked them to turn around so I could see the folks, and so I'm talking to them, and they're like, say something, give us a pep talk, and I'm like, could you be a little more precise? And they're like, no, this is something we want to hear. I'm like, oh my God. Anyway, so I yapped a bit about how we started, what we were doing, things we were working on, all that, and then asked them if they wanted to ask questions. And at the end, the thought I had, and I didn't say it, and I've said it since and asked them to convey this, what I really wish I would have said to them, I am so envious of you. You guys are just forming today. All of your members are excited and lit up, and they can hardly wait to come in here and do stuff. And I got rooms full of tired people. I got rooms full of people that are dragging their wagons around like, oh my gosh, we've been fighting this for 6 months, right? Isn't that us? Come on, you guys got us. There are days I'm just like, I don't know if I can get up, but then, I do. But it's like, so I'm like, really envious because you guys are all excited. And we need more people in the fight. So thank God you're here. Can you get about 20 more groups so my people can rest? So we're just going to keep working on that. So we need growing numbers and momentum, which I actually think we're doing. If you just use Indivisible alone as a guide, 10 groups a week, over 2,600, that's amazing. Yeah.
Any further north?
We have some up north. But the newest ones are Wausau and Stevens Point. Those are the two newest ones. So, and they always get excited when one forms in Europe or something, and I'm like, I know. They're all like, oh, we got one in Sydney. I'm like, who cares? Yeah. I want one in Ladysmith. I know, it's terrible. I just like, come on, I need them here. Yeah. So we got to keep building our numbers and momentum. The things that we are doing are helping. I was going to tell you a really cool story. I have a really cool story. But, maybe I just think so. But I'm going to tell you anyway. So last night at the end of the rally, I was tired. We were tearing down. I'm waiting for Kat to pull up in her car so we can load it up. So I'm sitting there with a pile of stuff. I'm just fatigued. I'm just completely fatigued. And I'm sitting there, and this car all of a sudden pulls over at like a 45-degree angle and slams on the brakes, like at a 45-degree angle, this white car. And I'm like, oh my God. So I get up because my job is to take all the crap that comes. So I get up and I walk over, I'm like, hi. And this woman leans over, she goes, hey, I just want to know what you guys are doing here. I'm like, well, this is our 6-month anniversary of having rallies, and we're celebrating being here for 6 and blah, 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 Wizard of Oz theme, blah, 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 blah. She goes, I work retail downtown here. I drive by you guys all the time, and I think, oh, I should get in there. And now today, I know I gotta. So I answered my phone, I say, text me your name. And before I even get home, she's texted me 3 times asking when the meetings are, asking what's going on, all this kind of stuff. Yeah, and she's like, I'm going to try and get there. I'm going to, but if I can't, I'm coming with you guys.
Here's another good story.
Yeah.
A couple came up to me that ended up, he was a Vietnam vet, and they were in street clothes, and they had just eaten at Hooligans, and she had these special glasses on when you get the shots in your eye for the exam. And he said, we were just they're from Glenwood City. And they came in town for the eye exam, and then they were eating there, and they saw this going on, and they came over and joined in with us. And I explained a lot of things, and they were so excited and so thrilled that we were doing this.
Oh.
And so I told them, we do it every week. Come on back.
So I just
Make sure
so
you're
we are
on Wednesday.
Yeah, we are making a difference. I mean, for her to whip her, and then she's finally like, "Oh, I guess I should pull my car over, shouldn't I?" I'm like, "I think you should." She's like, "It looks like she's just gonna barrel in," and so it was awesome. It was really awesome, and I was excited because she was all excited, and what? There was someplace I was going with that. Blah, 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 blah.
She had fun.
We had people come down from Stevens Point and Rhinelander to come to the rally. And they came, the Stevens Point people, remember I met with their people, so they had some people come over. And they were all excited. And they said, you guys are so much fun. I see why you guys come get together every week. Oh my God, it's so nice. We're thinking we should move here. I'm like, no, you need to stay at Stevens Point. We have work to Okay, so just so you, so every little thing we're doing is making a difference and people see the, you know, the, how much we enjoy working together and the goodness that we're doing and the messaging, except for WEAU. So that's okay though, we're gonna keep that. Okay. Loyalty shifts in the key pillars of support. They talked about this yesterday and today. Remember when we had that strategizing session? Well, we're gonna pick that back up again. Because what we did, you know, a lot of the pillars work is things like going after Avello Airlines. Do you guys remember what pillars work is about?
Yes.
Okay, good. So normally it's about like, we'll all go over, hi, are you Chelsea by chance?
Yesterday.
Yes, this is Miss White Car. It's Chelsea in the white car. Chelsea, you just missed her story. How did we go? She did it. You guys, she did it. Yes, I even said, like you said, you try to come and I gave you permission. I sort of couldn't make it. So she did next day. Awesome. Now, what was I saying? Oh, pillars of support. Remember, so pillars of support. Remember the exercise we did with that? Well, what happened is when I explained it to them, so most of the pillars work they do is like having everybody do a single action like on Avello Airlines. Do we have an Avello Airlines here?
No.
Can we do this action?
No.
No, so it's kind of a waste of time for us. So what they said is they wanted to figure out how to do geographic actions. And so I explained to them what we did and they were super excited. So we're gonna do more of this work and now we're gonna start putting it into action in our smaller groups. And yeah,
Are they gonna, did you talk about Palantir?
not yet, but that is, yes, just so you know,
That's a
that
global action.
we're doing it next week because of what's going on. I'll get there.
Okay.
Can we get there? Can we get there in future actions? Can we get there?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You know, sometimes you guys jump ahead. All right. All right. So we got to work on our pillars of support. Oh, and I was going to say for us regionally, our pillars of support are different than national. How do we make the sheriff and the police be on our side, right? How do we make education be on our side? How do we make the school board? How do we do that? That is our job. Our job is how do we shift our region to bring more people with us in Chippewa and Eau Claire. Now, Eau Claire is probably a little easier.
Yeah.
You know, we practice there. And then we'll come up here and then we'll go over to Stevens Point and up to Ladysmith, okay? All right. All right. We need to have resilience and organizational discipline when they come at us. Like today was a tough day. Today was a tough day out there. And, you know, so we have to, and I applaud all of you that came because it takes courage to come. It does take more. I'm like, you know, someone up here could get a little crazy. They could. Hope they don't. Yeah, I'd rather not die that way, but you know, oh well. All right, so resilience and organizational discipline when things get hard. We need to build a variety of nonviolent methods. That's what we're, and one of the things they said in the indivisible meeting yesterday, no, they said it today, which I thought was awesome. They said the problem is people always want indivisible to tell them what to do. Tell us what to do, tell us what to do, tell us what to do. And they said the problem is the best ideas come from out there. You guys come up with the stuff that works. You try something, it takes off, we nationalize it. We don't, you know, like if we keep giving you what to do, then you guys don't put creative thought. Like our hometown heroes, what we did with that, and even our rally yesterday, these are the kind of things people are like, that's awesome. We want to do stuff. You know what I mean? So we just have to keep generating new ideas and keep trying to find a variety of nonviolent methods. And then last, build our beloved community, which we all know we're trying to do, which I think we have. I think we have a pretty beloved community. Yep. Yeah. And Chelsea, it's usually fuller, but there's a Packer game. We understand? Well, and everybody's tired as we did last night and tonight, so everybody's pretty fatigued. Okay, next one. Messaging minute. Political violence never works. One of the things that happened is Sarah asked me, and Judy Gunderman, I wish she was here, can we get a gun violence group, subgroup going? You know, against guns violence up here, because they're so. And so because of the political violence that's happening, that might be something that we might want to take on, get better messaging going. So be aware that that's coming down the pike. Okay, so for some of you who that speaks to, we want to get that going. Okay, we'd like to get that going. All right, we're on the defensive, you know that, blah, 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 blah. I don't want to do any of that. Okay, next one. I at a certain point, I'm like, who cares? All right, so we know our rallies. Okay, so no, not next steps, recap. You skipped one.
Oh.
Yeah, okay, fine. All right, so Stevens Point, I already told you about that, right? I did the call with them. Good call. Wish I had their, wish. Oh, we did the Wizard Bees, and I talked about media bias already. Citizen action. For the people who are in the healthcare groups, we need to get our subgroups going a little bit better again. For the citizen action, I met with Jeremy Gregor, and one of the things, they have some stuff, and I really want to start, we don't want to keep reinventing the wheel. So they have a health committee that talks about the things that they're doing. So we need someone in the HAG group, Health Action Group, to come on that. And then in your group, on the Save Our Services, they have a climate group that talks about the climate issues. So all it is a Zoom call once a month to get on and see what it is the legislation is, what we can do, how we can support what they're doing and incorporate that. Okay? Got that? Nothing to do with that everything I'm telling you we're doing next week or the week after. I know. All right. And social, I really need a web human. I really need a web human. Amy stepped back like 3 or 4 weeks ago, and there is just a lot of work. So I really need a web and social media human. Yeah, I know. You guys don't like it. Don't look at me. I know. Keep asking around. There's got to be one somewhere. Okay. Next steps. Now we get to go here. Okay. We have our weekly. So you guys need to know, I'm taking most of next week off. Now, the truth is, on Friday, I'm going to Rhinelander to help them with some stuff. And on Monday, I'm meeting with 2 people. But it's not anything, and then I'm going to do the visibility rallies, but I'm just going to show up and walk around, But I'm mostly taking the week off. So you just need to be aware of that.
So you're doing something Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, but you're taking the week off.
I have to take, but I have to do anything else during the day. Like one day I actually promised myself I would not open my email after 5 o'clock, and I really didn't.
Wow.
I know, it was really amazing. I slept that night and I had a dream, and in the dream I was like camping somewhere. There's some, and then someone started to chase me and whatever. So that part wasn't good. But I hadn't had a dream for so long, so I'm thinking, yeah, maybe once in a while I gotta do that. So I want to take it easy next week and just catch my breath. So that means you guys should know you can catch your breath next week. That means I'm not going to be asking you to do a lot of things. Okay? But if you want to have coffee or lunch or something, let me know. Anyway, all right. Mending families. Oh, we don't have enough people here. The Mending Families thing about the woman who wants to do the workshop, Kathleen McFerrin, who wants to do it about how to talk to our relatives, the high risk thing of talking to relatives and breaking through better. She can do it as 3 afternoons or 3 mornings or a Friday evening and all day Saturday. I don't know what sounds better, but I'm going to put it in the newsletter, the options she's offered, and I'm going to ask you guys to kind of vote, see what we get. Okay? And I personally, I don't know, I feel funny. Do most of you have days off? Here's the thing I find about being retired. I have no time off. I never have any windows, ever. I don't know where this myth of retiring comes from. So I don't know. So for me, I was more like, well, I'd rather do Friday and Saturday, but that's me. So we'll just see what everybody says. The upstander training is going to get delayed probably till November. They don't have anyone who can come in. Gun violence group I did. Okay, there's the next big one. Okay, we're getting close. What time is it? See, we're gonna get done early tonight. I know we are. 6. Oh yeah, I didn't do either of those, did I? Did I skip over the top of those? Ah, jeez. It's a good thing you're here. Sometimes you guys get ahead, sometimes I get behind. Both things happen. NoKings, October 18th. You have to know. Yahoo! Our listing was up for yesterday. When I went to the rally, our listing had been up for 12 hours, maybe 14. We already had over 100 on there. Isn't that crazy? Come on.
Is that a Saturday?
It is a Saturday. We got to figure out what we're going to do, if we're going to march again. Sometimes people are like, oh, there are some people are like, oh, are we going to have speakers? I get so many complaints about the speakers, especially when they're legislative speakers, because they heard the same thing so many times. And since we're nonpartisan, I have a really hard time doing that. So, which is not to say I would love to have some great activist speaker. Wouldn't it be nice if we could get Maria Stepan to come up here and talk or something, So I don't know. So we'll figure out what it is, but it's going to look like it did last time. And we'll do the same thing last time, where we'll do it in Eau Claire in the morning, right? Or like, like for a couple hours, and then we'll do a small one in Chippewa, because there are some folks that come north for that one. So we'll just do the same thing we did last time. If there's some thoughts you have on it, strong thoughts, please share them.
Is Maxwell Frost still a possibility with
He
you?
is, but the problem is the whole nation is doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem. The whole nation is doing it. So I have an easier time getting Tammy Baldwin, come on here, come on. I mean, I'm just saying it'd be easier to get a local person, which is why I'm like, well, maybe we need to go with someone who's more flamboyant and more like an organizational leader. God, wouldn't it be awesome if we could get Mo to come up or Ashley? That'd be killer. Maybe I'll try some of them. Let me see what I can do. Because they are really super inspiring folks.
Who are Mo and Ashley?
They're from Working Family Party, and Ashley's the one I told you seeded the whole state of Alabama. They're the ones that do. Did you watch the training?
Not all of it.
Do you remember the black woman with the giant hair?
Yes.
Ashley.
That's, yeah, she's fabulous.
I want Ashley. I wonder if I can get her to come. Because I met her at Indian Visit Fest. We had a lot of fun. And so I thought, see, someone like that to come up and talk about how to bring us all together. Yeah. So, and if not Ash, if she can give us someone, because that's what she wants. She's all about how, and they're the ones that say, if you get along with everyone in the room, you don't have a big enough room. Thank God there are some of you I still don't get along with. Just kidding.
Would you consider hundreds and hundreds of people that instead of having a person or someone else like that, but have the head of the logo of the indivisible group talk to all of those people? Because she does a good job. And
You're talking Liz? You're talking
Is it like you?
I was thinking, I think,
Yeah.
Have you lost your mind?
this is where other people can,
I do talk a little bit. I try to keep it short.
but I want you
Here's the
to
other
be
thing.
the main person.
Anyway, here's the other thought I had. Only there. What if we could get a musical person?
Yeah.
Because I nephew. Yeah, so I'm like, ooh, maybe we could get a big musical person. And if not Bonnie Bear, who else could we get? So I'm just gonna tell you, my main goal is to try and find a huge music person to entertain us and someone like, so that, that people can put there. And then I thought about, because we did the Labor Day thing and we had everybody come in, what if we did a 5-part march and set people out on spokes, like into the community and had them circle and come back so we're not all clogged over the bridge? So what if someone to Phoenix Park wants someone all the way, what if we did if people want to march? Because the other thing I'm hearing from a lot of people is they want to march more. I'm really hearing, now, I'm like, we stand out there all the time. What are you talking about? They're like, no, we want to march with like flags and stuff. What are you going to say, Kat?
And Cindy, I really do think, for what it's worth, I mean, splitting, like, it was really cool to do for Labor Day. This was for them. I think people want to feel the numbers. I think they want
Well, I think we start there.
Yeah, but I just think they want to march with that huge.
But you don't understand. Okay, let me say 2 things. So I love the idea, and I love the way we did it, and I loved what happened when they crossed over each other. The scream that went through Eau Claire was just amazing. You guys know this, right? It's actually on video. Like when the whole group, so many people left Owen Park and went down to Phoenix Park and came up. When they came back and lapped themselves, when the beginning people saw that there were still people coming, there was a shout and a cheer that you could hear. It went up so loud. And they laughed, and my sister's friend got back in line with her, walked again. So I loved it. There are some people who complain about it, but to shut it down and use the streets is over $10,000. That's how much it costs if we want to shut it down. I think we did it beautifully.
Yeah, I think we'll just do it.
Well,
but it would just happen better. That was the
It's 'cause you-
first time.
Okay, I'm gonna say something bad. It's because you don't have to eat little shit balls, I do.
Stopping at, I did not like stopping at stoplights.
I liked going under.
Going under or, this is probably not the place to solve the problems. But what about the bike trails and railroad?
Typically, I'm gonna say, okay, ready?
Yeah, right.
Okay. I like that idea.
Thank you.
Okay, the main bitch I get pardon my French, no visibility. No one can see us. That is I'm just gonna tell you,
Okay,
we want visibility. We want people in the community to see us. It's nice there are 4,500 of us here. There's 55,000 in the community. We want people to see.
we fill one park.
Yeah.
And then we fill a second park.
That's why I'm sending us in two directions.
Okay, well, anyway.
Yeah, I know, we'll work on it.
So thank you.
Or we send them out two directions. I don't know. See, I'm telling you, there are some folks who have a real rabid fetish about this, yes.
We did at NoKings, we did have a person stop at the stop sign, roll his window down and said, "You are our heroes."
I know. I know. People, I mean, you don't, and Bill will be the first one to attest to this. People came out of their stores and cheered for us. People clapped for us. It was amazing that, I mean, and to this day, people are so surprised it's us. So we will figure it out. We are smart people. We are compassionate people. We will figure this out. Okay? So let's talk about, but I agree. And because I said the same thing, because the cops are all, the police, the Oakland police are always trying to get me to use the trails. And whenever I say that, even with labor, they're like, that's no visibility. We want them up on the street. So we're always struggling with what's the better walk versus what makes a bigger difference in the community. Yo,
When
I-
we stop at stop signs or stoplights rather, we are good role models. And people have responded to that, including the police as have told us.
yeah, the bridge to me was the bigger problem.
Yes.
The bridge was the problem because it took too long. So that's the problem, because, and with the other, we can keep going.
Yeah.
And then maybe if we, I don't know, I'm working on it.
Good.
My brain is a cooking.
So I have a concern about the bike paths as illustrated by the fact that the Eau Claire City Council just passed an amendment ordinance or whatever.
About speed of the bikes on it.
About bicycles can go no faster than whatever it is, 20 miles an hour. So you get all these pedestrians with their signs and we're distracted and we stand next to each other and then the bike comes along and I think it would be
Whoopses.
very dangerous. But I also would like to say that doing a loop that involved a couple of bridges, like from Pablo down to the bridge where the confluence is and then back around that way would be.
I can imagine, yeah, what if you did, yeah, like if they could see us, that's all we want. And to try and make it as minimally difficult for all of us so that we can go faster and keep going. I don't know, we'll work, yeah, we're working on it. So, was your hand up? Whose hand was up?
It was me, but it's.
You got it? Okay, fine. Don't you tell me later. You didn't call on me. You hurt my feelings. I know you wouldn't. I know you wouldn't. Anyway, I'm excited about NoKings.
Yes.
I think it's going to be huge. I know I will talk at the beginning. I always talk. I know I will. My son says I'm entertaining, and I'm choosing to believe him. We're gonna have to lie. He wouldn't lie. No. He says you're entertaining. I'd be like, okay, good. So I don't know. We'll figure it out. You know, as time goes on, the biggest thing we got to do is keep getting the word out, get people signed up, let them know. I still think we're going to start Owen Parks big. Held our 4,500 very easily. We can get up to 10 there. We can fill that park. So I'm going with that again. I sure hope the bathrooms are open. Yeah. Okay. Veterans Rally. The biggest thing we're running in with the veterans thing is about Klein Hall. And did I tell you guys this already? I told you what Jody Emerson said about it, that it's in bad shape. So therefore, ergo, I really want to do a veterans action. Just like we did our Save Our Healthcare one, I want to do a veterans action called Defend Our Veterans. Okay? I want to do it on either the 23rd or the 30th. And I want to do it like we did Save Our Hospitals, morning in Chippewa, afternoon in Eau Claire. Okay? I'm working on messaging and how to make it big enough. And so we're talking with our veteran partners on how to do this. And I'm going to talk to Jody and Jeff and talk to them about, the new legislation they got. Because what Jody said that made a lot of sense to me was that what we need to do is fight to keep the money, not the building. Keep the program, not the building. The building is bad, let the building go. But keep the money.
Last newspaper article said that there are down to 10 people in the building anymore.
Yeah.
So I think it's pretty much gone, it's just how to get them.
Yeah, the biggest thing with the biggest thing with the building, it's to help them get back on their feet, get going. So their success is their own problem. They get put people back together, then their census goes low, now they don't have enough money. Hey, now we need more messed up veterans in here, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah. So that the problem is their success is their own enemy. They end up being their own worst enemy.
Veterans Rally, is that in October or September?
I'm hoping September. Because they've got to vote on it, and I don't want the vote to come and go without us having done anything. So I'll check with Jody again. So far, they're resisting doing the vote. They don't want Van Orden and Tiffany and the others to have to vote on it. So they're trying to avoid the vote. They're trying to avoid the vote. So I just don't want to make sure, I want to make sure they don't slip it in when we're not paying attention and we haven't done anything. Because that's the other thing they do. Oh, we don't want to. Oh, we're going to do it at midnight Tuesday. And then all of a sudden, we have no time to do anything. Okay?
The 30th is not a good day,
Why?
because it's called, Orange Shirt Day. It's a Native American thing.
Got it. Well, 23rd is what I'm shooting for, unless I get into trouble. I just don't want to get too close to NoKings. I'm trying to stick to one major thing a month. I don't know about y'all. I'm getting tired of all these actions. Anyway, okay. Veterans Rally. The other thing that I did want to say is Phelps has some really good legislation out there about families, and he's got good messaging and talking points on it. And I really think we need to hop on that. So next week I'm going to be bringing stuff about that. So it's all about dividing up families and how to support immigrants and all that kind of stuff. Okay. Lastly, Cindy Puzio will be here next week. You remember when we talked about the action against the HPE thing here, right? Okay, some things have shifted. That is actually going to make it easier for us to fight this fight without having it be like we're going to blow up our own house. So, and that is, about the data center in Menominee? So we can use that as the key point to fight. Okay, so we still can do the action. We just will use that as our point to fight.
What's the HPE?
Well, this is the thing that I love. The HPE thing is where they make all the chips for Musk's XAI computers. They're either made in the Czech Republic or here in Chippewa Falls. If you don't believe me, ask your friend Google. All of the chips for it, the boards. The chips are made in Texas, the boards are made here. And one of the things that was with the argument, I was like, can't our people just make something that doesn't go into an XAI computer? Can they make something else?
Yeah.
But it's like, I didn't want to, how do you blow up your own place, But, so the good news is we can localize this in Menominee and fight to keep the data center out. We can talk about pollution, heat, water, all that stuff without blowing up our own backyard. Yeah.
Have you seen Charlie Barron's? He's done a whole.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah, that's great.
Has he been political before? I don't see maybe. Oh, yeah.
So Sydney's gonna be here next week. She said that it is not a done deal, because I said, I heard it was a done deal. She said it's not a done deal. So we gotta fight on that. And so next week, I will come, I did not have time to research, but I will come with data on what the chemicals are it's putting in, what it's doing to the water tables. And Tennessee, I must tell you, is already starting to, they're seeing so many bad impacts that people are starting to protest there. Remember we talked about we're gonna do a 5-state thing? That is still our goal, to do Mississippi, Georgia, Tennessee, Texas, and us. But we will localize our action in Menominee to stop the data center. Okay? Anybody got a problem with that? Okay. All right. I would like to put together a leadership team if you have an interest in being on my team and you don't irritate me, please. But seriously, some more people to help out with some stuff. So if you're interested in taking on more leadership, so it's things like, going to some of the indivisible meetings, catching some of the other stuff, taking some of the other stuff on, let me know if you want to step up. Mostly, you know how to reach me. Okay, next one. We're almost there. Action groups, you got to get this sorted out. I called it checkout because I was going to say, how are the action groups doing? you know, like, hard to help, you know, I know the healthcare action group emails once in a while, I don't, so we need to, next week, everybody in an action group, be prepared to say if you wanna keep doing this, if you wanna change some stuff up, what you need to do, let's get some dialogue going and figure out which ones are viable, because I can tell you which ones I think are viable and active, and which ones are kind of languishing, and are we gonna push, or are we gonna, you know, gonna add gun violence and keep some of this other stuff going, what are we gonna do? Okay, comments, questions, concerns? Yes,
You'll know
Harper.
that I always have something to say, so.
I do, and it's one of the things I love about you.
Okay, thank you. So I'm good at generating ideas, so sure, I'm good about doing anything after that. But what I do wanna say is that the suffragette movement for women to get the legal right to vote took 100 years. 100 years. And so what I wanna say is, if we need to take a break, take a break. Rest. We know when we need to do that, and then come back, because this is gonna be, I think, until the end of our lives.
Oh, I absolutely agree. If you don't, this is, yeah, we will not see, we are hoping for the next generation. We are fighting for the, apparently we had our heyday a while back. We got to enjoy that. We all got houses and cars and, you know, all the nice things. We got vacations. Okay, now we gotta fight for the next generation. We had our good time. We gotta fight for the rest.
Okay, I'm not done there.
Oh, what a shock.
So the narrative around Charlie Kirk and people wanting to shoot people and look what you did and all that, we have to change the narrative from us against them. An eye for an eye makes everyone blind. Somebody published a statement, who was it? Somebody else must know this, about the Charlie Kirk thing and how awful it was. It was some political leader person. And so we need to write letters, I think, or we need to talk about how it's not us against them. We have gun violence in this country. We have horrible rhetoric, angry people leading the country. And we need to say this. We need to say it loudly, clearly, and over and over.
We will work on that and talk about it some more next week. And I agree. And the thing that I will say is, it's kind of like when people go by and flip me off or say, I want Trump or whatever, it's like, awesome. I completely defend your right to have that, completely. And like I said, I just disagree completely with Charlie Kirk. I would stand in front of a bullet to, if, you know, like I would fight against gun violence to give him his right to do that. We are. We're out there on the street with our bodies. We are standing for everyone. And I always say that for healthcare, for everything. We are standing for everyone, not just us. This isn't just us. That's who we are. That's who we are. All right, Harper, anything else? Okay. Someone else? We have met the enemy, yes. Yes, Kat.
I did speak, I don't think I told you this, I did meet 3 young people last night, and being dressed as I was in gendered conversation. 2 were at hostesses, both 2 young women at Hooligans. 17 years old, 18 years old, 17-year-old has been president of her Young Democrats. They were so excited about the group. If they didn't work, they'd be there. They worked, but they were very excited. And then the young man next door also, it was really great to talk to you. And they were very involved. They were so informed. I mean, the one was all informed about Prop 50 in California. So it was.
And I've said this before, just because they're not out there doesn't mean they're not with us. They have jobs, they have families, they have things going on. We're all fighting in the way we can. We are all fighting in the way we can. We just are because of our age, some of us, we have the ability to be out there. We get to be the visibility piece. I'm willing to do that.
On visibility, Cindy, and since you talked about this, I think at the last meeting or so, about, and I'm sorry again, I won't be here, so I don't, but, you were talking about changing the hours for the rallies, and visibility when people aren't working Saturdays would be great.
I know. Bill was talking about moving it earlier in Eau Claire, doing it earlier on Wednesdays. He wants to keep it on Wednesdays. So we'll just open it up and see what people think. Okay. So either and Saturdays before the meeting, because we'll be moving the meetings to Saturdays.
Yes, maybe here. Maybe
yeah, so we might meet for up here. It might work better for us to move. And I think for the Dems, they might do it too. So we'll figure it out. That's right. Yeah, Bill.
Well, we plugged in for the power yesterday at the federal building in the tattoo shop there, which is about the middle of the block. And when I met with them last week to ask them about doing it, they were so enthused about it. Well, yesterday, when they got done with work, I was walking, with the megaphone, and there they are, over with us.
Oh, nice.
That was really cool. And just to show you how well the protests are going at the federal building, while we were setting up yesterday before everyone got there, but there were still quite a few people there, a couple of people came up to me and said, hey, those people are over on the grass. They're on the grass. That was on the north side. And so I went over there and they were, I said, are you with us? And because we're not supposed to be on the grass. And he said, no. We have permission to be on there. We're doing something Saturday. So that shows you how everybody's trained. Stay off the grass.
Nice.
Anything else? We have 3 new people with us tonight, John and Ken, right here, Mary's friends. And we have Chelsea, who came. And ladies, we hope you'll come back. We are harmless. Next week, I know.
And Andrew.
Oh, yes.
Oh, Andrew! This is Andrew's. Yeah, we're working him. That's me, Sandra. Yep. The meeting next week, we can't have Thursday. They're busy, so we can have Tuesday. Do you guys want to meet Tuesday? Or skip a week?
That's the only day you're not doing anything, so we should do a Tuesday.
No, we should skip Tuesday, so Cindy doesn't have to do it.
Should we skip? Do you think?
Yes.
Because then what I'll do is just move it to the Thursday at the end, and I will just, okay, so guess what? We're all taking next week off. Except you gotta show up for the rally, so I'll show up for the rally too. But just stand out there and wave, stay a foot back. You guys did brilliant tonight. You were brilliant at that. So thank you. All right, we're taking next week off. Anything else? Questions, thoughts, concerns? Chelsea, we're taking next week off. So 2 weeks for our next one. We're normally weekly. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I forgot one thing. I would like to start to do this if see what you think about this. I'd like to have a couple bins at the protest and people can bring non-perishable items if they want. And then I'll take them to the food banks.
Yeah, if you're willing to do that, sure.
Nice. That's great.
And I'll have a donation jar too if you want to do that. But you have some, you don't, but
I'd rather you donate to us, because right now we're down to about $200 in the bank. So, yeah, so that's great. You can get food, but if you're gonna give money, I'd rather you give it to us.
oh, let's see, there's a donation jar, I suppose I could.
No, it's okay. I'm just saying, yeah, well, so, and all we need is about $600 a month to pay for the building. That's all I care about. As long as we can pay for the building, I'm good. I don't care. I know, this is where Susan says, I'm concerned about our viability. We'll keep going. We're gonna keep going. Okay, anybody got anything else?
What's happening with the overpass?
Yes.
Basically, I need people who want to do it, who will form a group and act independently. That's really all I want. So get 4 or 5 or 6 of your friends together and then just let me know and we'll put it on the website. Kurt will pop it up like, kind of like a flash mob. What's our flash mob for the week? I'm going to do this in Eau Claire. I'm doing this in wherever. Okay, let's talk about, some people want to be more spontaneous and just go up on the overpasses and get some messages out. So I'm all for it. Just get 4 or 5 or 6 of your friends and put together what I would call a overpass team and then just start generating it. Like, hey, let's go out Tuesday,
Cindy, are we allowed to do that without the cost of this?
Well, it depends. It depends. So legally, we have the right to do that. You can't, one of the things they will jump all over you is if you do on Claremont or if you do over by Woodman's because people crash so much right there. So there will be places where you should be wisely not doing it. But some of us are, when you're going in and out of town, but so you want visibility. Legally, we can go anywhere. And if they tell us to move, then we can't go back. So what I say is be prepared to tear down in 30 seconds, whatever you do, be prepared to take it down fast and say, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know. But then if they tell us that, then we can't go back. Like they have told me we can't go by Woodman's. So I'm just telling you right now, don't go by Woodman's. Okay? I have been told no. And I'm like, yeah, they're like, no, people, because they come too fast, they're coming down there, they want to get off, there's so much going on in Claremont, so they've said no. So you have to pick somewhere else. So all it is like like you and 6 of your friends are being spontaneous and putting messages up whenever and wherever you feel like it. Like, oh, let's do this. I'm not gonna manage it. Just anybody and everybody, do wherever you want. Okay? But if you tell us, we'll let people know when you're doing it. And then more importantly, here's the most important thing of all. I got it. If you do it, this is you two who want to do this. You two are the two that are on it, okay? These two are the two that are like, yeah, I'm out there, okay? Get someone to take a picture. Because I have learned if there's no video or photo, it didn't happen. So give me something with cars going by, okay? Give it to me, we'll put it up. If I had a social media person, I'd put them up faster. Okay? Yes, ma'am? You good? Okay. Yeah, if they tell us we legally have the right to be, I mean, you can't be someplace illegal, you know, like the bridges that say you can't stand there. Don't go someplace, but if there's a sidewalk, you can stand there as long as you don't block the sidewalk and people can get through. But if we are told we can't be there anymore, we can't be there anymore. Okay? Then they're gonna come talk to me. And I might chew your butt. Okay, what else you guys got?
What about the gun violence,
Group?
group?
Next week. So next week, we're gonna, oh, not next week. If anyone is interested in doing the gun violence group, email me. I will start a group and we will put something together and we'll have a Zoom meeting. Anybody who's interested in the gun violence group, you got that? Tell your friends. Got it? You guys are the diehards. You'll be the ones I hear from. Okay, anything else? Hit that one. That bottom one. Thank you. Individual and small group non-cooperation is still where we are. Where are you going? Bye. We're still trying to get to collective non-cooperation before we can get to mass. You know, we're waiting for the tipping point. You guys know that. That's the point. And we're hoping NoKings is it. If we can get to 15 million, 15 million is our goal. 15 million is our goal. Now, we at Eau Claire really did it already. We hit it last time. We were way over our 3.5%. But we're going out there again and we're going to keep driving those numbers, right? So if we can get to 15 million on October 18th, we are really close to starting to have an impact. So then they've got to start listening. Okay, so get everybody going.